same place. Yeah.
Hope, are you going to record it or? Because Fap won't be able to make it, I think.
Yeah, what do you mean that one place? Where's Bog-Eyed Bob from?
Well, so where are you from? That's where he's from.
I'm from Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's where he's from. It's like you're from the same place where Rate My Takeaway's from, no? Rate My Takeaway. You ever seen Rate My Takeaway? Like, it's good.
I haven't, no.
Oh, you need to search up on YouTube. Rate My Takeaway. He's like a big 40-year-old guy that goes to like Chippies and just like has a lunchbox, and he just I'm outside rating my takeaway. That's what he's saying.
Wait, no, I'm interested in this.
No, VOD 2.
Wait, I've got 2 minutes. I've got 2 minutes. Let me up the speed on it.
Yeah, stream, George. We need this.
No.
I can pull it up.
Yeah, we need some Rate My Takeaway.
Pull it up.
This is the real coaching.
He's like, I've got car. I've got.
No, it doesn't, man. This looks like you. Don't lie.
Oh, bloody ads. We're cooked, mate. 1 minute of ads.
Bro.
What is this? Nah, it's just 1 minute till VOD.
It's fine. We've got this.
Oh, 20 seconds unskippable. Rate My Takeaway's taking a mick, mate. Rate My Takeaway's taking the mick.
This is a bloody joke.
All these Yorkshires, bro. They're all trying to steal all the money, mate.
Valid though.
Exquisite.
Shut up, Plant. Stay team
guys, how you doing? Back on the road again. So today, me and
I do not sound like this guy.
That's a Rate My Takeaway.
Coach, that you, man.
And we're off to Preston.
That's you right now.
Why we're going to Preston is because not so long back, as you know.
Well, he's actually in a car, so I'm not.
Yeah, you have your PC in your car.
Yeah, of course he's in a car. He's going to Preston.
Wait, go back.
Now, cameraman, Walton, Liddale, Preston, Salisbury. The amount of comments we've had.
Alright, it's VOD time. No more Rate My Takeaway, lock in.
I'm interested though. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Yeah, watch him Rate My Takeaway tonight. He's a good guy. Okay. Hi, nice to meet you all. I'm PnR. You can call me PnR or Ryan. That's my real name. So I've got a bit of the hiccups. That should be okay. Yeah, I've coached different OWCS teams at different times. Blah, 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 blah. You guys don't really care. Let's go and talk about this Zarya comp. Before we even look at you guys playing, I want to speak about what you guys know about this comp. It could be anything from ultimates. It could be who you bubble. It could be how you use your cooldowns. It could be where you split. I just want to hear any of you tell me anything you know about this comp. What's your understanding of it so far?
We use Zarya and Genji.
Great. We want to use Zarya, Genji together to farm Zarya charge, to get Genji to maybe he'll get a kill, maybe he'll just farm some ult, but it will give us map space, okay? When we use this together, we should be looking to take map space. So yeah, we want to use these two together. Anything else with our Genji? Do we want him to play with anyone? Do we want him to be on his own? Great. We want Lucio and Genji to have a 2-person split all the time in this comp, okay? Because most of the time, whenever your Genji Lucio go in, it will make space for your Sojourn, okay? You want your Lucio Genji to be active, to farm charge, to be a front line, and basically make it where they have to look at our Genji, and it gives our Sojourn more space for her to farm rail and shoot them in the head, okay? Our Carry and Sojourn will be playing most likely pretty close to each other, but all the time, our Sojourn and Carry should have LOS of where our Zarya is playing so that we can win off of her, okay? Is this comp fast or slow? That's my next question. What do you guys think?
We want to get a kill very fast, but after that, we want to use a Zarya charge to get more value.
Yeah. It's kind of
really
a
explosive.
It's kind of a trick question, right? Because these two play fast off of the bubble whilst the rest of our team swing. But if we don't get a kill, it's fine because we can be stable with our bubble and with our charge to kind of hold our ground and then play a slower fight until we get bubbles back. So it's like we always want to burst on the first hit, but then afterwards we need to be stable into an area so that we can get our next bubble and play the game again, okay? When it comes down to ults, every ult in this comp is super duper just nice. They're super good together. Grab Blade if you need to. You can beat Blade. You can just grab anyone on their team and solo kill them. You can clock to peek on a wide angle. You can Kitsu you have so many options for your ults in this comp. That's why it's also so nice. I really like this comp in most scenarios, especially at, you guys said you're like 3-7, 3-8 team. This comp, if you get it down, you're just steamrolling teams. You're snowballing, you're walking forward, you're holding your ground, you're one-shotting them, okay? So we're just going to look at first fight because there's quite a lot that goes on because you do a pretty decent hit, but it could be better, okay? So let's watch. Skip forward. There we go. Cool. So they TP out, but that's fine. Their trace is going to be late, even though they get a little bit more space. This is fine. First things we should be talking about with our Genji and Lucio, okay, is where are you two trying to go? Where do you guys right now want to go? You tell me, Genji, where you want to be.
He's not here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You tell me, Lucio, where you and Genji want to be.
I don't really know, actually, to be honest.
So the best thing about this Zarya comp is that you can have 2 angles for free. Where your Genji's still in LOS of everyone and is still close enough to get healed, but he still gets an angle. So, for example, if I'm you as Genji and I have my Lucio, I'm taking you guys and I'm walking to this side of the wall. You're probably thinking, why am I here on this side of the wall? That's me, or you're shooting through here. Why am I in this area? Because you know that your Zarya is going to be walking up to here, and if their Zarya walks up, because they're first, you have either a pincer onto their Zarya or direct access to the backline easily with a bubble. Yeah? So you're already cutting your distance. You don't even need to use a dash if you get to this position as Genji. You can just wall climb over, see who you want to see, maybe throw some right clicks out, use your verticality, and try to chunk them low. Yeah? And then if you guys decide to go, because you're here, you can dash in, and you have a way shorter distance. You have way more targets to choose from, yeah? And our Lucio can play in the same space. You can even be here if you want to play a little bit more safe, so you get an angle from this side, and our Zarya's playing here, and you can still get to the backline, right? So you'll see, we play this super one-dimensionally, okay? And what I mean by one-dimensionally is it's basically we're playing on this arrow. Everyone's walking in like this. And they kind of match it where they do this as well. But if we get any type of form around them, we free win it, okay? So watch. Our Genji's kind of first. He's walking up. He's taking space. It's chill. Let's see. We've already bubbled our Genji before he's even done anything, yeah? So we should be in a situation where our Genji's up, and if we're going to bubble him, he needs to be active to do something. He needs to be up here, and he should be going in and saving his dash and just right-clicking this guy with the bubble if he's already in this position. Because you can get to here, yeah? You can get to it, and then you can just wall climb up, stand here, start right-clicking when your Zarya peaks, and you get a bubble, and if they look at you and you're low, you dash out. And what that does immediately is it farms us charge. This bubble isn't going to farm us much charge. Look at how much charge my Zarya gets. Yeah? So we're starting in neutral now with my Zarya on 10 charge, -1 bubble, and their Zarya has 2 bubbles but 0 charge. I'd rather be the Zarya with 2 bubbles and 0 charge, yeah, than 10 charge and 1, okay? So we kind of just fire out a bit too early. Now, Juge is taking one of the widest Sojourn angles I think I've ever seen in my life, okay? What this comp does well is that you have a Zarya basically bodyguarding your Sojourn, where your Sojourn should be, and you have your Genji on the side, making sure the flank is being marked if they have a Tracer or they have another Genji, so that they can't get onto your Sojourn. And the whole comp is basically, we're going to have our Genji do stuff, so that they have to look at our Genji, and my Sojourn is free shooting, okay? Or, if they run in onto my Sojourn and miss out my Genji where he's just chilling, he can go behind and one-shot their backline. That's always how this comp works, okay? Whenever we think of Overwatch, we trade one thing for the other. If they're running forward to try one-shot our Sojourn, we should have someone in their backline getting ready to one-shot them if we're set up. If they're looking at our Genji trying to take a trade, we should have a bubble onto our Genji, and our Sojourn should be wide peeking because they're using everything on our Genji, okay? Whenever one thing happens, another thing has to happen, okay? Great. So because of Juju's positioning, you don't really get you get a bit of an angle, but you're not really going to be farming much charge. Look, you're not going to really be going up that much. You're not really useful right now, you know? When right now, it was basically a 4 versus 5 if you had rolled out with your team and our Genji was in the right position because their Tracer TP'd out. Now it's a 4v4 and their Sojourn, if I look at her, she has a really wide angle. They've taken a lot of the map space, yeah? We can't have it where they take this choke from us and they're walking forward with this angle behind. Because right now, they're doing what I want us to do. They have the flanker going, they have their Sojourn on a wide angle, and they have their Zarya body blocking, okay? You guys need to be in like this kind of position anyway. We're lucky because we decide, okay, we're backed into a corner. What's the best thing to do when you're backed into a corner and you're going to get fucked over? You just got to play the game. You got to do what we would call like crash out, yeah? We're lucky because this Zarya walks backwards a little bit for no reason. But we do get an engage with our slash. We get almost a one-shot, and you get bubbled, okay? Now, look at this slash distance, yeah, with your dash. You had to go from here to here, yeah? This is so far in you're going, yeah, with your dash. You shouldn't need to do this to be in a good position. Again, and not to go on and harp about it, but if you're here and you climb over the wall, you're already in the middle of them as they walk up, where you still have your dash and you can right-click them and deal damage, and then you can either decide when you're on Genji, okay, I'm going to press shift to get the kill, or I'm going to escape with my shift and my team is going to be there to help me, yeah? Everything about this comp has to do with setup and having our Genji be on like tiny little flank angles that he can get value from, okay? If you do that, they're just going to have an impossible time. Now, our Genji does a really good job of forcing out this Sojourn. That's super good. Juge is going to fucking die, yeah? This guy is playing his own little solo mission. He's on a campaign mode in COD, yeah? He's not really playing the game. So, we should just be running in to get a trade. We're 3v4. You guys see we're 3v4, yeah? We've killed one, but it's a 3 versus 4, so we go forward. We win the space. Great. This is awesome. Just the fact that we go fast and crash out is better, okay? Now, this is where I had a big issue with the fight, because I see in the top, we've traded Sojourns, okay, but we've killed their carry, yeah? We're up a number, yeah? This is what we should be saying in the fight. We're up a number. The person we have killed is the Kiriko. Who's our first target when carry's dead now? And we have a Zarya that's... I'm going to check Zarya charge because our Genji went in. 20-ish, but it's probably fine because you can still get a bubble off. You have it in 1 second. Who's our target right now?
Zard?
Yes. Our target now, when we're playing this game, is always going to be Zarya, because she is the person that can do the most to the rest of us, yeah? If they go onto our Kiriko with their tracer, we can bubble our Kiriko. If they go onto our Zarya with their Zarya, we have healing, we win that, okay? If they go into our Lucio, we can bubble our Lucio. Their Zarya has bubble targets of Lucio and Tracer as well. However, she doesn't have the healing. So if we run onto her to force out her bubbles on herself, she will die fast, okay? The issue of this fight is if we look at our Zarya where she walks and our Genji, you guys get caught on a little side mission and try to trace after this Tracer, okay? All you have to do at this point, Zarya, is go, all right, I'm just going to shoot my enemy tank and win. We're going to play front to back. Does everyone know what I mean by front to back?
So front line to back line, I guess.
Yes. So front line, yeah, exactly. So it would be front to back means Zarya first, and then you would go and kill like Sojourn and these two. But it's basically shoot the tank is front to back. When back to front is diving. That's kill the squishies and then kill the tank because they don't have anything. Yeah? So what you guys did at the start of the fight was what is kind of like a back to front, you know? Like your Genji went in. Your Genji went in, killed one of the squishies, you killed the other squishy. Now you've killed the squishies. Yeah? You've killed the two key people that are going to do stuff. Now you need to front to back. You just need to shoot the tank and you win the fight. Because these two aren't going to do enough. Maybe they'll get a trade, but if you kill this Zarya, you've won the fight, yeah? You just got to make sure that you live. Okay? But because we don't, it becomes a really messy fight. Our Zarya has so much downtime. We're TPing away. We have a 2v2 over here now. And look, you guys are split. The Zarya's full HP. You're both half. Like, she's free shooting everyone and getting bubbles off. She has more charge than our Zarya, and she basically lost the first fight, you know? So they can walk up and try to trade. Boom, she gets a trade. Because she's free. Now her team is back. Her carry's going to be back in a millisecond, and her Sojourn's back. And now, if we look at this situation, it's going to be a 4v4 again. We had a winning scenario, yeah? This is where mid-fight, like, comms are so simple, yeah? We say, this person's dead. Sorry, the wrong part, wrong side. We say, Kiriko's dead. Okay, shoot tank, yeah? That's the only option we have. If they don't have a big healer guy, they want to make it a scrappy fight where they just go super fast. Yeah? If we just play controlled and then stack and shoot this guy, they can't deal with us. They're going to lose. Yeah? Cool. Okay. So yeah, you see how we don't really kill her. She's now got charge. I'm going to go check her charge. 92. Yeah? I'm going to look at my Zarya's charge. 61. Yeah? She's inting right now pretty hard, I won't lie, but at least she has healers behind her, yeah? But she's a full charge Zarya, and they're back in the fight with 4v4, and they have more bubbles, and they have more grav, yeah? And now it's super hard for us to play, because they can snowball. They can stall out the game, and they have the charge. Okay. I always see this with teams that are like 3.7, is like, people just randomly move to places to do stuff, okay? Which is fine if you're a flanker. You can move somewhere to play the game. You can go on a flank. When my Zarya is like walking this way to go up onto the boosters and try to get onto this area again, like you don't need to do this, you know? Like you're taking the long route on an easy pathing, which is just play the corner, play the cart, play the corner, and then if you need to walk back, play the corner, yeah? Like you need to be the person that is front on. When you do something like this and you go behind to try take this here, if they were fast enough, this Juge is dead, you know? You leaving your Sojourn's LOS is basically giving her a death sentence if the enemy team is good enough to spot it and go in, okay? It was the same over here, right? You guys, when you went onto the Zarya, who was there, or so you went on and you killed their two, you killed these two guys. Afterwards, it was like, my Zarya is here. It's literally as simple as, I am the tank. I will go and deal with the tank and be in her way. That's what we have to think, okay? Instead, it was, oh, I'm Zarya. I'm now going to kill people, and I'm the flanker, so I'm going to go chase the Tracer who can run 9 miles away. Yeah? We can't be having that as like our tank, yeah? We need to make it where our positions are always in front, or if not, like protecting the team in any way. You get what I mean? Look, you see? Juge is now really wide in the open. If their Tracer was good, she would have just be blinking on with a bubble onto this person now, and then you're kind of useless. If you were here as Zarya and where Genji was back and our Genji was here, holy beautiful, you know? You guys have a pincer, you guys can go into the back line, you get a bubble, whatever. Yeah? But you don't need to be doing all of the extra shit, you know? Your job is farm charge and stand there and be menacing and shoot and just beam them. That's your job. Cool. Okay. By the way, I will say, if any of you have questions or input or anything at any time, always you can interrupt me and ask. I don't mind.
The issue is that Arsaria and Genji aren't here.
Yeah, of course, but when we walk this way and we don't have... Wait, sorry, what do you mean? Our Zarya and Genji aren't there? In what sense?
And the skull, so...
Oh, okay. That's fine, we're recording. Whatever. it's all
it's
good.
just kind of unfortunate that the comp that revolves around the two key players are not here to hear it.
Okay, chill.
That's
All good.
And
All
as
good.
well, I can opt them out.
All good happens. It's fine. What I want my support line to think then the whole time is like, Lucio, your whole job is to be speaking as much as possible with this guy about where you two want to go, okay? That's your main comm, because we have to think about it like this. If we're stacked as 5 and our Kiri's in trouble, she has a TP mechanic, okay? She wants to TP to a safe area. If you are playing stacked on top of her with the Genji, she has no TPs, she will die, okay? She's forced to do like a tiny little short one for no reason. What we want is where it's like, my Kiri's here, my Sojourn's here, my Genji, Lucio are playing, you know, wherever over in this area. And if they decide to go into my Kiri and my Sojourn, my Kiri can Suzu and they can run away. But if my Kiri's going to die, she can always TP to you guys and be safe. And my Zarya can just waddle back and get healed, you know? Like, we need to give our Kiri TP options in this comp. And we need to give Juge, as much as possible, the best sight lines. We want to give them the longest, straightest sight lines of all time that they're forced to walk down. Because as Sojourn, you want to farm your rail as much as possible. As soon as you have rail, we can play the game. For example, on the neutral, when we roll out, what you should be doing, Juge, is instead of taking the angle down here, you should be taking a super wide shooter bit from like, you know, this is good, anything like that. Even if you can walk up with your team to take this space that their Sojourn was in, it's great, yeah? And we should be looking for the back to front, yeah, which is killing the backline with our Genji going in, when you have rail, okay? If we have Sojourn rail, Genji coming from a flank with a bubble, yeah, onto their backline and a Lucio speeding them in, you are free to shoot whoever you want with your rail and get a kill. Our Kiriko's free to just use her fucking kunais and shoot them in the head, as well as just full pocket whoever she wants. You two, Juge and Lucky Boy, are under zero pressure. That's what this comp needs to be. You two need to be under zero pressure the whole time, okay? Just because we're playing correct angles and we're taking space and we're fronting up. This comp has so much damage. Does it, like, when Zarya gets going and she gets charged, the snowballing effect that this comp can have is monumental, yeah? She has so much damage. Same with Sojourn. Sojourn, just permanently farming rails. You can one-shot literally anyone on the team, and your Genji will just dash at them and they will die, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We always want that, okay? Perfect. So yeah, it's a bit all over the place in these mid-fights, but like I kind of expect that from you know, Masters levels teams. You know, it's hard to have, like, when you're in the mid-fight, it not be sloppy, okay? Good shot from you. This is where it's an issue, yeah? This is push. I'm going to explain push is the game mode, okay? We have to think about it like this. We do not want to be losing the fight whilst their cart is moving, okay? Because if we lose the fight and stagger whilst their cart is moving, not only are we dying, we are also losing the game actively whilst dying, okay? Whenever we want to do anything, it should be on cart to at least stop this from moving so we die, yeah? For example, when they get the kills here, it's literally just, you guys need to go as hard as you can to just kill whoever you want, primarily try get to the cart, okay? And in maybe Masters OWCS tier, like, they would call that, like, our calm is crash out, where it's just you go as fast as possible and you don't care about your life and you look for a trade and you just look for a 1-for-1 onto anybody. Yeah, if you guys do that, you can probably do it really simply in like your type of scrims or your games. If you go and crash out and you get the trades, it stops them from setting up early, which makes your retake easier. Yeah, if your Genji right now trades their tracer, it makes it where they're coming back at the same time, so they can't play super fast onto us with their tracer because she has to run back at the same time. You know, so we should be looking for trades and we should be dying fast, because if you guys are living, you could get like, imagine this was an official, and right now you're on Kiriko getting staggered and they're pushing the car, you know? They could get 15 meters for free and you're losing. Now, push as a game mode, where we're at 4 minutes here. I'm going to go back to the start, okay?
I'd also like to ask one thing, though.
Yes.
Just as a general concept, when these two comps run against each other, I'd say the Genji is much more of a threat because he can quite one-shot, right? But they kind of want to bait them into playing the objective more because Tracer can easily do the push cart without being pressured, but Genji can't. So isn't that something they also gotta like think about? Because like,
so
when Tracer is trying to push that cart, that it's a 4v5 in a sense, for a while, because she's not that big of a threat in this comp.
yeah, you're saying that if you guys are fighting off of cart, she'll just try to push cart as much as possible? Is that what you're saying?
Shouldn't that be somewhat of a call out for them as well?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they know, like, if their tracer's on cart and you guys can take a 5v4, you just sprint at them and play it. But, like, what I'm saying is most of the time, the way that this map should be played is, like, you should be taking fights around cart anyway. The only thing about neutral is, like, this is an escort, you know? On escort, it's 100% the tracer goes cart and just pushes it as much as she can, whatever. The thing about push is, like, there's tons of angles and places around the cart, and because it's got such a wide radius, for example, I think that the like touch radius of it is like this. It's not a perfect circle, but it's like a big circle around it. You can play in little cubby areas where you can contest, you know, and the tracer can't do much and play the game. Like, that's really just how, like, it's fine. Plus, like, I think if you have, so what they're doing a lot is they're sending their tracer on a solo flank. If your Genji Lucio go towards their tracer and 2v1 her, they can deal with the tracer. Like, you can force recall out, and as soon as recall's out, she's useless, and then you can go play the game. All you guys have to do is the Zarya core is just be ready to either give up a tiny bit of space whilst farming charge on bubbles, or hold your ground and just have Jude shoot, yeah? But you can 100% have your Genji force them out on tracer, like, super easily, as long as the Lucio's with him, yeah?
Yeah, it was more so that I was wondering where, like, if you should pay attention to the tracer, just somewhat ignore her. Because
you 100% can. If she's standing on cart and making it a 5v4, yeah, ignore her. Like, go kill all 4 of them and go grab the cart and pull it round. Like, that is fine. What I'm scared about is when their tracers pushing the cart and we have like 2 dead people, 3 are here about to die, and they have 4 around us. Yeah, of course. So push as like a game mode is really, really simple. Because you have to think about it. When you are in tug of war, it's basically tug of war. The team that has the most meters most likely should win. If you have pulled their rope more onto your side, they have to put more, like, they have to exhaust themselves more to pull it back to even the center, okay? It's the same in Overwatch, okay? If the neutral fight is so crucial, because if we can push the cart and we get meters first, every fight they take from now on is just trying to get it back to the center so that they can get their push, okay? And then even then, they have to take another fight to get it to here. So, for example, we win neutral, yeah? We start pushing the bot and we get bot to this corner, yeah? We're here, it's on this corner. They now have to take one fight here, wipe us, yeah? If they wipe us, they get it back to around center, maybe about here, and they start pushing the bot. We can then take a fight before the corner, and for them to get a lead, they have to win 2 fights in a row, okay? And all we've done on the neutral is win 1, yeah? This is why push is such like a really snowbally game mode, and why your Zarya comp is so good. What we need to be thinking about is, okay, when we win the fight and we win a neutral, we should be planning where we have one person on point and the rest of us are getting ready to, we're holding this so they can't go through. We have our Sojourn on like a super wide angle over here. We have our Zarya playing up, and we push the cart as much as possible and we play in their space as much as possible, yeah? We're trying to take as much of their map as we can so that we can get as much free push as possible. What this also means... Sorry, yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, with the like put one person on payload, do we put the Kiri on payload then? Because fucking Lu and Genji go on a flank. Or...
Yeah, you have different options, right? You can have it where like you can have your, let's say you guys have walked up and it's here already. You can have your Zarya be payload with your like Sojourn Kiri playing here and your Lucio Genji playing like inside, or maybe they're playing up here on top. Like, that's fine, right? And your Zarya can play it. If it's behind here and you want to walk up and take space, having your Kiri be on payload's probably the best. However, the other option is if you're sending your Kiri and Sojourn up and your Genji Lucio are going to play inside this room on the flank, your Lucio can just be on payload pushing it, and your Genji can be inside the room, and then when they want to flank, they can go and give it to the Zarya and it will go around the corner.
Okay.
Does that like answer your question?
Yeah.
Great. The best thing to do when we have the lead in push is use our ultimates. Oh, that's the wrong team. We want to use our ultimates, okay? Because if we are using our ultimates when we are winning the game, it goes back to, remember, we won 1 fight to get it to here. They win 2 fights to even match us, yeah? Which means we have 2 fights to farm ultimates before they even match us in where we're playing at, okay? So forcing them to use ultimates on their side of the map, let's say we use beat and then they use beat, this is a winning trade for us because we're forcing them to use shit whilst they are actively losing the game. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So, last piece of advice for push as just a game mode is this checkpoint here and this checkpoint here. Doesn't matter what side you are. The team that gets it first has about a 85% chance of winning the map most of the time, as long as the other team doesn't troll, because you get closer spawns, you get faster fights, yeah? Imagine you get the point here and they have 0, okay? When they respawn, 1 second. When they respawn, I'm going to go all the way up. They are here, okay? When they respawn, yeah? When you respawn, you are here. Which means when you guys are looking to take a fight to stop them, it makes it where they have even more fights that they need to take to even match the payload to get up to here, yeah? Of course, when they go past center where you go back to there, but again, you guys are winning the distance. If I do this and they're pushing it up, your spawn is here, their spawn is here if you're fighting there, you know? So you get there faster than them. So what we always want to do as a defending team, if we are getting snowballed, is you always try take a fight before this to try force ults. And if you win it, great. If you lose it, they'll push it in, they'll cap it, and when they cap in push, you get instantly spawned, okay? So if we take a fight beforehand and we get instantly spawned, we'll be back in time to fight it here, yeah? Because of how insta spawns work. So we always need to not give this for free. We should be forcing as many of their ults as possible before this if we're losing the game. That's the only way you claw it back, is you go here and you take a fight where you use maybe 2 ults and they use 4, and then boom, bada bing. Oh, next fight we have 3 and they have 1. And then, okay, we can win this fight here and we can push it back up and we can try snowball again, yeah? That's the only way that you can get back into the game. I heard from the message, they get 100 meters and you guys do a really pretty good comeback. But odds are, the 100 meters that they got, the only reason they lose is because they're in the mindset of they've already won and they're now just doing silly mistakes and you guys are able to snowball the map really freely, okay? Which shouldn't be a thing. Most teams won't fall into that, you know? Especially in an official, if they get 100 meters, it's almost like a death sentence. It's really hard. You have to be like a choker, okay? So that's like push 101. Does everyone understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome sauce. Okay, we're back at 4 minutes, is where we were before. Great, and we lose the fight. So yeah, so we were losing the game and they're pushing. So now they can set up. You see how we're spawning now and they're about to push it around corner. If they were a little bit better, they would have their Zarya. Nice, they're walking. Great. Okay. You see how they're taking a bit of a wider thing and they're playing in your space? This means that if you try to fight here, they're already going to be pushing it around the corner, yeah? So what do we do if they're pushing it round? We don't want it to get to here, yeah? So we should look to try take a fight and force their ults. We should try force out their grab. We should try force out this, yeah? Primarily, hopefully, by taking a dry fight ourselves and not using anything, okay? But we want to go before this walks even further, yeah? Cool.
Yep.
Let's see what we do. So our Genji's taking a bit of an angle, which is nice, yeah? Our Genji's taking a bit of a thingy. Lucio, you should be with this guy immediately. Because imagine you two go here, you wrap round, you can catch this carry off guard. Or you can wrap round, you play from this angle. Our Zarya comes from here. They're in the center of what we would call a kill box, I guess. I don't like the word kill box, but it's what is used a lot of the time, yeah? Instead, we've had to use our TP to heal this guy, and now he's going the other side, and Juge is on another flank. Juge, this is a you coach note. It ain't this serious, yeah? Yeah? It's harder as a Sojourn to flank when you have 0 charge, okay? I'm totally fine for you to do this, yeah? Because this is good. This is fine only if you have the Lucio with you and you have ultimate, okay? Because if you have that and you peek from up here and you're shooting down onto these guys with an ultimate, our Zarya can sprint in and we get them pincered, okay? But you have no ultimate, you have 0 rail, so it's going to be impossible. You're going to peek from this flank and you're going to shoot them, and when you shoot them, you're going to get maybe, I don't know, 50 charge on rail, and you won't even be able to shoot it before they really look at you and maybe just flip the map, you know? So don't worry about going on flanks until you at least have ultimate. When you have ult, do what the fuck you want, bro. Go make a play. Go hit the one tap. But the flank is our Genji. You just need to be here and farming charge off this Zarya and then looking for the squishies with your rail. Because if you tap this guy, 100 HP in the body, our Genji can dash slash him and dead, you know? If you tap the Lucio in the body, dead. If you tap the Sojourn in the head, dead, you know? Any of these things, they're all dead. That's what you need to be. You need to be a consistent factor.
Yep.
So look, you see that you're shooting from top, Tracer's immediately on you, and now you're forced out of your angle, and not only are you forced out, they may be doing a 3v2, and we may be like going onto their Zarya, but it's like really hard. You're now dead, and now they're back into the fight with a flank. We're getting circled like a shark, you know? These guys are going to come from this area. We didn't get a trade on this side because they're safe, and now look, we're stuck in this angle, and their Zarya can catch off our carry and force DP or shoot our Zarya, and we lose the game, yeah?
Yep.
At least we're taking a fight before payload, but we didn't force any ults. Boom, we touch. Look, our carry's like, oh, please help me. Has to TP away. Boom, we get grabbed. Again. All right. Ooh, W trades. Maybe a clutch. Oh, we Clutchingtons. Crazy clutch. It's a bit of a scrappy fight. But, like, they used Grav and we used beat, that's fine. We're 1-for-1ing it, so our economy isn't that bad. I don't mind it, because if we use grav and then if they use grav and then we use beat, they're forced to either beat match it where they use 2 and we use 1, or they can do what they did and just do a 1-for-1 in which they're now in a fight which is like equal. Yeah, so this is actually a good beat. I really like this beat. I was gonna flame it because I thought they were going to not use anything and just wipe you, but it's actually good, so I don't mind.
Somehow.
It's a little sus because we're kind of losing the game, but like we're still forcing ults. Now we're in a fight. Oh, this is gonna be perfect to talk about. We've used 2 and they've used 3. Yeah, this is actually good. You know, like we want them to use more ults before they cap.
We just baited them into using ults. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So the way that Overwatch ults work, I've explained this, and Juge might have heard it 15 times because he might have been in other VODs.
Yeah,
okay.
I've been in a couple.
You've been in a couple VODs, and I explain it to every team in this server because it's such a crucial thing with ults. Okay. Everyone here's played Uno. This is my scripted thing, Juge.
Yes, sir.
Everyone here's played Uno. You've all played Uno with friends where someone +2s you, okay, with a +2 card.
Yep.
What can you do to a +2 card? You can put your +2 on top of it, okay? That's how ults work in Overwatch, yeah? In Overwatch, we are in a 5v5 game. Everyone knows this. It's a 5v5 game. Ultimates classify, as Korean coaches would say, as players, okay? When ults are used on the board, we get a passive advantage from pressing the button. We press Q and we get advantage of space, or we could shoot them in the head and instantly kill them. You know, we live longer, we have more HP. We just get an advantage from pressing the button Q on our keyboard when we have it, okay? Which means that if we use an ult, it goes from a 5v5 to a 6v5 if we use one ult, yes? So now we have a passive advantage in the fight. They are forced, at this point, to either use an ult to make it a 6v6 or to just take this disadvantaged fight that they're in, okay? So what they did against you guys, because this is a perfect fight to talk about it, is what they did first was they grabbed, yeah? They went and made it a 6v5, okay? What you guys then did was went, okay, we're going to make it a 6v6. You have now forced their hand where it's an equal fight and you're trading. They are forced to have to use another ult to get it into an advantage. Yeah? If they don't, again, it's just like you're playing a normal neutral. Yeah? If they do, you have an ult advantage. Yeah? We then used Grav and we made it a 7v7. And then they used one more and made it an 8v7. Okay? This means that they've used 3 ults. Yeah? And we've used 2. Yeah? We've used 2 ults. We have the advantage on these next fights. After winning and getting the space, because we did win this fight, they're running away. We now have the ult advantage of we have 3 and they have 2. Yeah? And our ults are better than theirs. We have this. We have mirrored ultimates and a Genji blade. They don't have that, which means this next fight, we have a passive advantage on how we can use our ults. The way I want us to think about the game is you should only use a +2 to make it a 7v7, a 7v5, okay? At your level. Because if you do this, most of the time you have a big enough advantage that you can kill them instantly. For example, ult combinations. The reason ult combinations are good, like beat blades, like grav blades, like I don't know, let's say beat sojourn ult, is that you're using 2 and the advantage is too hard to match if you go fast. They aren't going to be able to beat in time because they might get Ajaxed. They're not able to grav in time because she might already be dead from getting headshot by a sojourn. Yeah? So most OWCS teams will look to use 2 ults and that's it. And the only time you're allowed to use more than 2 ults in a fight is if they match with 2 ults of their own, because then it becomes equal again and you can go, okay, I'm going to add one more because we're still fine. You know, we're still going to be able to crawl it back. Yeah? Does everyone understand this?
I do.
Awesome. Juge understands it more than anyone, so hopefully after hearing it 58 times in different teams as their manager, he can go ahead and explain it to you as well. Yeah, but I'm going to be going back to that as much as possible when we're watching this, okay? So yeah, you see they've given space. We need to be a little bit careful, right? Because we didn't full team wipe them. They kind of just walked backwards, which means that like when we're taking back this space now, we can't be sloppy with how we're playing, okay? We need to be a little bit slower and wait for our Zarya. Nice taxi. Now you guys can walk back and kind of choose where you want to take the fight when they retake. Yeah? Cool. Nice walking backwards. We don't have to force it too hard. We don't have to force the game that crazy. Ooh, okay. So, again, timing is everything in Overwatch, yeah? As I said, when one thing happens, something else needs to happen, okay? The worst thing that we can do as a team is one person does something, and then they have to either leave or they die, and then another person does something, and they have to leave or they die, yeah? What we want to do is, Jude, I don't mind this from you peeking here, yeah? As I said, you can do it when you have a clock, yeah? It's just your timer of when you're peeking. You are in front of your Zarya walking out on a choke, and you are shooting too early. Your Genji has not moved to play the game yet. You need to wait 1 second for your Genji to move and to put some pressure with the Lucio or with the Kiri, and then you can play, yeah? You're way too fast. Yeah. If you stand behind your Zarya and you let your Zarya walk out here and they all look at your Zarya and you and Lucio go, all right, we're going out into the open with a clock, great, yeah? Because your Zarya's touching point, your Genji's coming from the angle, he can go up to here, our Zarya's on the points dealing with it, our Kiri can pocket or TP to you and Suzu you, and you get a massive clock onto whoever you want, yeah? But because our timing is bad, you peek now, they're peeking our Zarya, shooting her. She can't do the game. She can't play the game. Our Kiriko's not even looking at you to help you. And now you're taking a duel against someone way too early, yeah? And our Genji's not ready to move. And the result of that is, boom, we're dead. Boom. Exactly. So now our ult advantage of having a 3/2, where we can use 2 fast and just win the game, is now a 2 versus 2 in ults, but also a 5v4. Which is just bad. We don't want that.
Yep.
And you see that they collapse onto us, and they're trying to play super fast now. And luckily, they're not killed Zarya yet, but they should. Hopefully soon. Yeah. See, this is where it's like, I'm watching this gameplay. You guys have made a monumental mistake, and they followed up on it, but they don't have the mechanics to kill in this rank. Like, in the nicest way possible, they don't have the skill to deal with it. So you guys are able to claw back a fight and stabilize when you shouldn't be able to. Every team that is, you guys are 3.7. If you're playing against a team that's like, I don't know, what is it? Advanced? Are you guys in advanced? No, you guys are in open, right?
Blend face it, yeah.
None of the above.
Yeah, if they're in advanced, even they would be able to chase and deal with you, you know? If you're in expert, if you're in masters, they're going to be able to chase and deal with you. So abuse the fact that some of these teams aren't good enough to utilize the mistakes and use it as a thing where you are good enough to utilize the mistakes. If you spot any mistake that's being done and you have a tiny bit of better timing, yeah, you have 1 extra better timing here, you team wipe them. You have 1 second of choosing a different target. You kill them all and you win. Yeah? It's such little things that you guys can just be like, okay, let's just think about it for 1 more second. Okay, let's play. Yeah? Because you see here, you guys turbo inted, you're in a 5v4, they sprinted you down, and you're now winning the fight. Like, this guy's now inting, our Zarya's about to get a kill on the Lucio. Like, this should never happen. This should never happen. So be lucky that you're in a state where it can happen. Boom, we get a kill. They're trading, whatever. Their Sojourn's kind of inting. We're trading. Oh, what's going on? It's such a sloppy fight. Like, that's the thing, you know? You're now in a 3v3 in a fight where it was a 4v5. You know? Like, this is insane. This should never happen in any scenario of Overwatch, but it did. So be grateful that you're at like a rank where you can abuse the fact that the other team is bad, okay? Because watching this, you guys almost have the right ideas. You know it. You've been speaking to me. You've been talking about, oh, but what if this happens? We should push this. I'm like, 100%, yeah? If you just take those ideas and put them into the game, you will win. All you need is an extra 1 second. All you need is a one little thought. Yeah, and you guys will steamroll these motherfuckers. Yeah, cool, awesome sauce. W in the chat. Look, they still haven't capped the point. Ooh, okay. This is where it's a bit sus. So we have stabilized the fight. We do not need to use an ult now. Yeah, we can play it where they can walk into us and use something, and we can kite if we want. Or we wait for Zarya to get back, then we use it. Right now, this is way too early, and now they can match and they're 4v5. Yeah? So we should wait for a second. We should, like, this is what I'm saying again. If you wait 2 extra seconds for your Zarya Lucio to come back, this Fox is perfect. Yeah, everything that you guys are doing is within 1 to 2 seconds of a mistake. Yeah, you have the right idea of you want to go fast, but you're doing it 1 to 2 seconds too early in certain areas. Yeah, everyone can see this. You know, you can all see this. Great. All right. Watch out a little bit because I yap quite a lot, but I only really want to watch when you were losing the fights. I don't really care about the comeback. Sorry, even though you might be playing it good. But I'm gonna swap to the other VOD in just a millisecond, okay? But yeah, they cap the point. And from this scenario, like if I look at ultimates, we're now 2 for 2. They're about to have grab, and we're equal. Like it's in such a difficult position. We have 0 meters, they have 55, and they have the equal ults. We really have to claw our way back from this one, and they super have to troll. Yeah? Cool. Okay. I'm going to quickly swap to New Junk City, because I watched your neutral on that, and it was interesting.
Oh, no. We always lose first point, New Junk.
This point, dude, Overwatch, like Blizzard, has made Overwatch first neutrals the most scripted things in the game. If you guys know how to get into just good positions off of the neutral, no matter what, you will win it. Yeah? Like, every single map, push. If you get into the right position, boom, you win. Cough. If you get into the right position, you get first match, like first thingy, you have such a passive advantage. This map, you are in a circular dome of kiting and death. Yeah? You have so many angles to choose from. You have so many different choke points. You have so many different areas to move. Yeah? So we just got to pick the right areas, and then we just play their neutral the same every time, and we win the game. So you guys pick a weird Farah Zarya. That's weird to say. Farah Zarya.
All right, this was the Roro game.
Yeah.
Is this an official?
He's a one.
No, he's a one trick of Farah.
That's fine. Is he here?
He's not here now.
Wait, it was against us that game.
Yeah, this was Ghost.
Oh yeah, this was Ghost.
Okay, so what am I hype about that I see? They have nothing to deal with this Farah. Yeah? Perfect. What does Farah do better than any character in the game? She flies. She flies, she spams them. Yeah, I heard someone say spam, that's also true. What Farah does is she takes it where angles that were originally on the floor, like shooting from this angle and shooting from this angle, she can go, oh, I can shoot from this angle. And now, not only do we have an angle from main, boop, we have an angle from up here as well. Yeah, she can make her own angles if she just takes a tiny split. You can still be in LOS to get bubbles. You can still be in LOS to get healed. You can still be in LOS, but you were just in the sky shooting down. Okay. Hopefully the Fire player watches this. You can even tell him to watch the last 15 minutes of the VOD. Okay. Shooting and poking as Farah is harder when you do it from the floor, because you are shooting in a straight line, which if it doesn't direct them, it will fly past and hit the wall. Yeah? Which means if they're standing here and you miss, it hits the wall. If you are poking the choke from this angle, you will always hit the floor here, and you will always get the poke over the whole choke point. Yeah? Everyone understand that? This is the same for Echo, it's the same for Farah, it's the same for fucking Freya. If you Freya E in the air and you're shooting down, it's fine to do it from up down onto them, because even if you hit the floor, the explosion damage will still do damage, okay? If I'm Farah, I will be having a wet dream playing against this comp, yeah? Because I have so much poke, I can farm so much ult, they have basically just burst heal and that's it. After this guy runs out of his fucking his wave and his right click and the Lucio uses an amp, they have nothing left. They've busted their load too fast. And you guys have consistent healing with Kiriko, and you have kiting with this, and you even have a flanker to deal with this guy, to deal with the Wu Yang, yeah? So, watch what our team does, yeah? We walk out, and when we do, Juge, you spot where they're coming from with our Lucio. Yeah. You know where they're coming from. The first thing you gotta say is, 5 or this side, 5 or this side, boom. What's the first thing we do? We know they want to come and kill our tank. They have a Reaper. They have Venture. They have a Zarya that's going to bubble that they get charged. So we don't let them out of this choke point. Juge is escaping from this choke. They need to get out of here. Our Zarya just needs to walk there. Juge, you just play this side as Tracer, and our Pharah can play anywhere and shoot here. And as they walk through, they'll be taking so much poke that they die. Yeah? And if they go like this, where they run towards us, we have our Lucio with our Zarya, and our Zarya goes, all right, and you just counter-rotate them whilst our Pharah shoots them as they rotate. Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. You see what happens instead? I'm going to go on a Pharah POV. So when he watches this, because he's going to watch this, he sees his issue, okay? So you've wasted your fly coming out of spawn a little bit, but it's fine, you're kind of getting it back. The first thing you want to do, okay, you see them here, you press shift, yeah? And you start shooting from the top angle. Instead, you're barely flying, you haven't used any ability, and right now, you're out of fuel. You have no fuel, and they're able to push you. And where you're poking from, it's so one-dimensional, yeah? If you're poking from here, you can shoot multiple people, okay? So the first thing I'm doing on Pharah is I'm maybe seeing where they are. As soon as I see where they are, I press shift in the air, and I'm using all of my fuel that I have to stay in the air and poke from this angle, yeah? And then my Zarya is able to front up more, and I will be able to farm a million ult. But because you didn't, you're playing it like you're a Sojourn, you know? You may as well just be on Sojourn if you're going to play your Pharah like this. Because look, she's flying away, wasting boosters. Now, when we finally press shift to get it back, we're at half fuel almost when we're in the air, yeah? And they've already walked out of the one place that's easier to shoot them, okay? You don't want to be on half fuel as you get into the air. You want to be up here with, like, you know, full fuel, and you fucking, even if you need to do the rocket jump off the ground where you shoot your feet and take 20 damage and fly in the air, your Kiriko will heal you up, yeah? Get the maximum height possible to play the angles onto these guys. Because if you're going to play on the floor, you may as well just swap. And you see how, like, because he has no charge, it's hard to get the angle. Our Pharah right now, if I speak to, like, any flex DPS, it'll dip. If I speak to fucking SXJ, if I speak to Backbone, if I speak to Kevster, they're all on 60% ult right now, and the enemy team isn't able to play the game, you know? So that's what I want to have our Pharah be looking at. Is you can Pharah ult is so fast at farming. There's a reason all the Saudi Arabian teams back in the day played Ana and Pharah. It's because you can farm Nano Barrage or Nano Pharah in literally 30 seconds if you're good. Yeah, maybe 40. And as soon as you do that, oh, let's Nano Pharah, she kills everyone. Or let's Nano Barrage, she kills everyone. Or let's go in with Barrage and we fucking give her a bubble and we win the game. Yeah. That's what you want. You always want this person to have Barrage because it's such an easy ult to farm, yeah? Now, this is where I'm going to also be, like, a bit annoyed. So, again, they have kind of circled us and put us into this area. I'm going to show you where they're a bad team again and where you guys are lucky, okay? You guys have given up all your space because your Fire's not really been shooting anything, and you're kind of in a corner. They have the advantage of this Venture's behind, this Reaper is on a flank, yeah? You guys should be dead. If they just walk forward and they all go together, you guys are dead, yeah? You're triple angled, you're gone for. Instead, they decide, let's just walk backwards, yeah? Let's walk backwards as our Venture has tried to go in, and they've given you back the space, yeah? They should never be running backwards like this on this comp, yeah? So you guys know for a fact that, like, you were in a position where you should die, but you're against a team that doesn't see this, where you guys should just be dead, and now you're back into an area where you're safe again. This is such a blessing. I wish when my teams were screaming fucking Virtus Pro, the Virtus Pro would sprint in and go, nah, and just leave, you know? You guys are being given, like, a blessing, because now, in this official, you can take control of the game again and play it, yeah? You heal up your Pharah, you start shooting again. Look, our Pharah's playing on the floor. She's in a room. But the Reaper goes in alone. The Reaper's playing solo bolo. They're still not really playing the game. It's just rough that we hard chase the Reaper with our Pharah. But, like, this is my whole thing, right? It doesn't matter what comp you're on. If you have a good neutral, you'll always win. Our Pharah wants to shoot on choke points, yeah? Our Zarya wants to get charged. Juge wants to be on a flank as Tracer, okay? So, we want to get charged, we want to poke, we want to flank, okay? We can choose all of that. This map is so circular, there's so many places to go from. Farah flies up. She can shoot from here down to here if they're coming out of this door. She can shoot down here if they're coming out of this door. She can shoot here if they're coming out of this door. My Zarya, if they walk out of here, she can stand here, and their Zarya will be here, and you guys will be in a 1v1, and your Farah will be shooting down in their backline. My Zarya can be standing up here, and she can be holding this in a 1v1, and my Farah should be shooting on the behind. Juge, if they walk out of here, you can go through this way like you're originally going, and you can flank round and deal with them from behind. If they come through this area, you can do this, where you go here, and then you can wrap around this way and go from behind. Yeah? The thing about this point is, you have so many options to play the game. If I go on your POV, Juge, you're going to be standing with your team for most of the time. Yeah? You're in spawn. Wasting blink, whatever. Not to flame. Hopefully you guys don't think I'm being too mean, but I'm just trying to help.
No, it's fine.
You're kind of...
Yep.
So,
Real.
This guy's literally zimming. Like, come on. No, I'm joking.
You wish.
Like,
bro,
look,
you wish.
you're standing. You're like, our team loops round where you're with the team. You know, we never want this to happen with our tracer. We always want it where, let's say, right now, Juge, you have gone and you've shot this Wu Yang, and then you've cut inside here. And now, when you peek out to go into the Wu Yang, our Zarya bubbles you in their backline, and our Zarya's here. And because you're on their backline as tracer, killing them both, this Zarya has 0 heal, so we win the front to back. Yeah.
Yep.
Great. Awesome sauce. But instead, you're kind of stacked. You decide to go now. Perfect. Yeah. But when you decide to go, our team are just stabilizing. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. One person's trying to do something when the rest can't. It's like, it's so easy for coaches to sit here and go, oh, you just need to do stuff together and be in time. But like, the easiest thing that I can do is show you where being out of time is always like ruining your gameplay. All you need to do is be like, okay, they're walking backwards. I've been forced out. I need to gain my blinks back. I need to gain my thing back. The fight is slow now. I'm going to go across the point and come from this angle, and I'm going to get bubbled, and I'm going to be behind, and Mazari's going to come from here. Yeah? You have so many choices as a flanker. You have so many choices on how you want to play the game.
I actually have one question about a choice that I've made in some of my games. Let's say it's not a venture comp, but they play more traditional with the Reaper and some
Genji.
other DPS. Yeah. Maybe Genji, whatever. Because sometimes it's difficult as Tracer to get onto their like backline with like Lucio Wu Yang if they're just like spamming you out. Is going after the Reaper after the initial bubble engage, like when he has no bubble and no Rave, to get him kind of like either low or to delay their next attempt. Is that a worth play, would you say?
Yeah. So if their Reaper TP's in and he gets a bubble and then you guys live it and he wraiths away, that is your timer to play the game. Because if you guys have lived their engage of them going in and he's wraithed backwards and you decide to push, he's the most killable he's going to be because he has no cooldowns. As the Tracer, the great thing about this comp, Juge, is there's not really a flanker that can match you apart from maybe Venture, but she's wasting her time if she does that, yeah? So even if you stand on a little angle behind and shoot the Zarya to make it where she's forcing a bubble onto herself, or you chase the Reaper or shoot the Reaper from an angle, you win. So let me show you from this area. Imagine you are here on Tracer instead of here right now, okay? And their Reaper has TP'd in like he did. As he runs away, you can shoot him from here and be safe, and then you have the choice of blinking round with your team pushing, and you get the kill, yeah? You can just chill out and shoot one of the big guys and do a lot of damage. That's a good input. Yeah, if our Tracer's like just chilling here, watching, you can shoot from behind onto the person that's dealing with it. Yeah, Tracer doesn't need to be like sniffing them to fucking do damage. You know, you can be like in this bit and shoot their Reaper and get ready to flank afterwards. You can be here, and if their Zarya walks up, you can shoot their Zarya. Like you can do 200 HP of damage to Zarya and force her shields out, and then you just free win the game. You know. So it's not bad like at all to shoot the Zarya, shoot the Reaper. We want to be doing that. This is where like the Farah poke comes in, because if we're able to force Reaper Wraith early, if we're able to have them use bubbles early, we get a big advantage of cooldowns in the game. Cooldowns in Overwatch are some of the most crucial things ever. If they waste it, we win. If they use Wu Yang wave too early, boom bada bing, we win the game. If they use Venture Dig before anyone else has done anything, we can chase the Venture and kill. If they waste bubbles, we can kill. Yeah? They have a comp that like if they're wasting shit, they lose like pressure, they lose time. Yeah, we want to make it where we are actively putting enough pressure onto them with our shooters that they're wasting bubbles before they can use it even into us. So yeah, good little question. Well done. But yeah, you see how like we're still playing one-dimensional right now. It's chill that you're back now, Juge. I love this tracer bug. So yeah, I like that you're cutting across the point and you're contesting. This is decent, but it's like pretty rough, you know? It's still really hard. Yeah? It's really hard to play the game right now because we've given up more space. Finally, Roro's gone into the skies, but he is half HP. But yeah. Any questions real quick from anyone afterwards?
I have a question for like it was like from way earlier. I just
yeah, on the first one, on the first map.
Yeah. Like because in the beginning you talked about like how we should have shot when I shot the Zarya.
Yes.
When the Kiri died.
Yes.
What if it's like what if the roles were like reversed? Like how would we deal with that situation? Like what are our
if
choices?
you have lost 2 and they have only lost 1 and they're gonna run it, this is where the call crash out is my favorite word, because it's the same as when you were in this situation over here and you had 3 alive and they had Tracer on cart pushing it and they had 4 over here. Yeah, you're at a situation where you have one option. Okay, your option is take the ego duels with all of them and try to trade as many people as possible. You just need to get kills because you can't play slow. When Kiri dies, no matter what, you've lost the opportunity to play slow. You don't have the consistent healing. Yeah? She doesn't exist, you lose the consistent healing. If your Kiri gets picked pre-fight and you're in a 5v4 like this, you have one option, in my opinion, which is either you use an ult and go super fast with your speed and try to clutch it, or you just go, all right, let's say we get picked and we're from miles away, let's just run backwards and reset. Or if we're already in the fight and we're fronted up and we're against each other, we're playing against each other like this, and we're on each other's sides, and they kill our Kiri, your option is, all right, let's just go. Let's just play the game. Let's just go kill as many people as we can. Like, we have no other option. We can't play the long fight. We should look for trades. Yeah?
Right.
That's how you would play it. So what happened over here that they did is that they kind of did that. Yeah? You guys didn't pick the right target, but their Zarya got trades and lived because she just picked the squishy that was the easiest to kill with her charge. Their Tracer and Lucio went onto the same type of target and baited you guys out, and then they won the game on a kind of a crash out, you know? So, yeah, my whole point is, like, if you are down and you were already in the fight, just try take as fast a fight as possible, because the more time you're wasting, the better it is for them. The more ults they farm, the more HP they're going to have, the more abilities they're going to have, the more you're going to be pushed back. You don't want to slowly lose a fight in most situations in Overwatch, yeah? If you're going to lose, it has to be, fuck it, let's just go try kill anyone. Let's just play the game, okay?
Okay.
Great. Awesome. Any other questions before we end this?
I have one more question with the Genji space on this first attack here, because it's something that like I agree with taking that corner as Genji, right? But something that's happened to me before a few times when we were playing Expert Division is that they would run a cast variant of the comp into the left doorway, and they would just shoot me one time in the head. No, the one below that even.
Oh, here?
Yeah, they would run out there and tap me from a wide angle, and I would be forced to either dash back because my Zarya is on that right side, right, waiting for me to wall climb over. But if I go for the wall climb, I'll most likely be dead. But then we end up losing so much space. I'm kind of just curious, like, what should I do there? Should I try and commit for the gas, or should you then completely back off? Or when they go on a non-ordinary like opening,
so you're saying like they have like a cast Lucio peek from here as Zarya walks here?
Yeah,
and you're playing Genji?
Yeah, I'm a Genji player.
The best thing that you do here is, it doesn't matter if you dash back, yeah? It's good to if just play your life, okay? Like, play your life. If you go into the cast, you're most likely dead, so don't do that. You always just want to play your life, because even if they walk up, this guy's playing a side that he's not going to be able to stay on once you restabilize. So let's say they peek with Cass here and Lucio. and these guys keep on walking as their Zarya's walking, and you guys lose the space. When you've been healed up and you're ready, all your team does is they give you a bubble and you go kill these guys immediately.
Yeah.
And if these guys and if they sprint rounds and they keep going here and they keep going forward with their Cast Lucio, you can just collapse onto them because this flank is like really rough. You can go kill them. And your team, you can even run out as a team of 5 and sprint onto them if they keep on going. If they do this instead, where after they force you out, he loops back with his team and plays it, and then now their Genji's in a better position.
That same spot.
Yeah, you can walk up and contest their Genji in this spot, or if they don't have a Genji, you can just go back to it. Yeah, all it is that you've just delayed your timing to go like a bit longer. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
You just need to be a tiny bit more patient and just like it's a bit of a problem-solving thing. If he keeps on walking, me as Genji Lucio with a bubble is stronger than a Cast Lucio. Yeah, because we get like the burst. So you're fine to go onto that. If they go back and run together, then you go, okay, we may have lost the initial space, but they're giving me a flank angle round still. I'm just going to choose it. Because if they take all of this, and they're now here, and you now loop from here and go stand and go up against this wall, you're kind of still safer and you still get the angle, you know? Even though it's not over on this side. Cool.
Good, that makes sense.
Oh,
awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody else? It's fine if there's nothing. I don't mind.
I've got nothing.
I don't got anything right now.
All good. All right. So one little last thing. Remember, everyone, this comp really good at like fronting up and shooting. Okay, we want to be shooting them. It's hard for us to kite a lot, so let's just make sure we're confident and we front up and we kill them. Yeah. It sounds so simple, but Overwatch is an FPS game. Yeah. This comp gives you the most FPS fucking first person shooter comp in the world because this guy beams, these two flank, this guy beams. Okay, so be confident, grow some balls, just talk with each other a little bit more about the timers, and you will easily win. Okay, everyone agree?
Yeah,
I agree.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Lovely meeting you all. Lovely doing a little VOD.
You too.
Keep playing your comps. Keep enjoying the game. Keep grinding. It's good to see. You know, even for a 3-7 team, it's just like little things. You still have little things. It's all baby steps. You add these baby steps together, you're going to be running soon. Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Great. All right. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
You too.
Thanks, man.
We appreciate it a lot.
Hey, no problemo. No problem.